Welcome to Recap King Movie Explained. 10 immortal beings arrive on Earth in the year 5000 BC to save humanity from the deviants. They are the Eternals, and Arisim the Judge, the Prime Celestial, has dispatched them to the Domo from their planet of origin, Olympia. Although they are forbidden by Arisim from meddling with human disputes in order to enable them to evolve naturally, the Eternals continue to relocate to other developing civilizations and protect them from the deviants over the millennia. Over the years, Circe and Icarus, two Eternals, would become close friends and finally get married. Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire, is invaded by the Spanish in 1521, and the final of the deviants also launch an assault. She briefly turns against her comrades while fending them off as a result of Thena's mod wiry, but Gilgamesh intervenes to stop her. Thena's condition is offered to be treated by the pre-maternal Ayak in exchange for losing her memories, but Gilgamesh offers to watch over her in exchange for the risk that she could have to be murdered if she turns around again. Droog quits the Eternals in order to settle the Spanish issue on his own since he is dissatisfied with how the Eternals have been avoiding interfering in human affairs. Ayak frees the Eternals to go their separate ways when the deviants appear to have been destroyed. Icarus would later leave Circe as the other in the following years. Ayak releases the Eternals to pursue their own paths when the deviants appear to have been destroyed. Since then, Icarus has abandoned Circe as the other Eternals wait for them to return to Olympia. Sprite, who is a museum curator in the present, shares a home with Circe in London and harbors feelings for Dane Whitman, a co-worker. Whitman, Circe, and Sprite are ambushed by a deviant as they leave a party one night. As they battle the beast, Icarus joins them, but they soon learn that it can cure itself. Whitman is left in the dust as Circe, Sprite, and Icarus make the decision to head to South Dakota in search of Ayak. The body of the victim of an earlier deviant attack is discovered at her home instead. The sphere Ayak uses to speak with Arisim is given to Circe as she grieves over the corpse of their leader. Given the threat from deviants, Ayak hands Circe the sphere she uses to speak with Arisim while she grieves over the corpse of their leader. The three decide to set out in search of the other Eternals as the deviant threat grows. They approach Kingo, who is reluctant to leave his star-studded existence and rejoin the Eternals, since he is filming a new Bollywood movie. When he learns about Ayak, he caves in, with more prodding from his valet Karun Patel, who tags along with them to record a story for Kingo. Then his wiry reappears as a result of a recent deviant attack, leading the group to discover Gilgamesh and Thena in Australia. Circe uses the sphere to successfully connect to Arisim after looking at Thena's paintings from her episodes of Wiry, which depicted recollections of planetary destructions in the past. Circe learns from the Prime Celestial that the Eternals were truly created in the World Forge, not in Olympia, which does not actually exist. In order to destroy Earth's top predators and promote intelligent life, he had also created the deviants. However, a crucial design fault caused them to grow into predators in their own right. Therefore, the Eternals were sent to Earth to safeguard people, without realizing that they were also guarding a seed that, once the required number of intelligent life had been attained, would hatch the new celestial Tiamat the Communicator. When it occurs, the emergence would start, causing the planet's demise and the birth of the aforementioned celestial, allowing for the emergence of new life and galaxies. The Eternals' memories would then be extracted from them and examined by Arisim in order to prepare for their upcoming planetary expedition. Circe informs the others, who are horrified to learn the true purpose of their existence. Together, they come to understand that Thena's mental condition was caused by a mistaken memory wipe following an earlier emergence. As they make their way to Iraq, they take the Domo from an archaeological site where they discover Makari living inside the ship. They are all endowed with limitless cosmic energy. Therefore, Fasto suggests they focus it on Droog to create a uni-mind so he may take control of the Celestial and put an end to the emergence. Icarus, however, is the main opponent of the idea, and not everyone agrees with it. Kingo thinks back on his most recent encounter with Ike, which took place 6 days earlier, while he promises to stick by Icarus until the very end. She tells Icarus that although if the blip brought the emergence closer to happening, it was the Avengers' valor that caused her to begin seriously questioning RSM. Icarus nevertheless brings Ike to a village in Alaska where the deviants trapped in ice were resurfacing as a result of the emergence's accompanying global warming. Since he still firmly believes in RSM, he forces her into Crow's Path, where she is absorbed by her life energy and endowed with her hyper-regenerative abilities. Icarus returns home with Ajax's body before crying over what he had done. Circe detects the beginning of the emergence, which causes Phastos to dispatch Macquarie to locate Tiamat, who is on a volcanic island in the Indian Ocean. Circe discovers that Droog was informed of their true purpose by Ike decades ago, and Droog deduces Icarus' involvement in Ajax's killing. Icarus contends that in order for the universe to continue to exist, it is their responsibility as Eternals to preserve the celestial cycle of life. Sprite decides to flee with Icarus after Kingo makes threats to attack him. Kingo follows Kroon out of the room because he doesn't want to fight his buddies but doesn't want to face RSM. As Ajax's successor, Athena persuades Circe to carry out Ajax's duty and stop the emergence from eradicating humanity. Phastos takes Circe's communication sphere and disassembles it to make bracelets for the other Eternals to wear in order to enable the uni-mind. Circe, Athena, and Macquarie on the island give Droog their energy so that he can link with Tiamat, but Icarus blasts him into a hole and obliterates the domo. Macquarie, Athena, and Phastos confront Icarus to remove her cover after deciding that Circe's matter transmutation abilities are their only remaining hope to halt the emergence. Macquarie is almost killed by Crow when he fights the Eternals, but Phastos knocks him into a cave, where Athena follows. To divert Circe, Sprite displays an image of Ike before piercing her with a dagger. Sprite wishes that the emergence's aftermath would allow her to be resurrected as a full-sized human being because she is continually made fun of for her childlike appearance. As the Celestial begins to rise from the Earth's crust, Droog returns and knocks Sprite out, but he is unable to use his abilities against Tiamat once more, leaving Circe to fight it alone. Athena successfully fights off Crow's attempt to take control of her mind while posing as Gilgamesh, killing the deviant. Icarus is briefly restrained by Phastos and is prevented from using his powers, but he eventually frees himself and flees to stop Circe. He wants to hurt her, but he is emotionally incapable of doing it. He gives in after recalling their time together and their love for one another on Earth. Circe still lacks the energy necessary to kill Tiamat despite this, but all of the Eternals, including Icarus and Sprite, suddenly merge to form the uni-mind, generating enough energy for Circe to turn Tiamat's body into marble. Icarus apologizes to Circe before taking off from Earth and colliding with the sun. Phastos' surmise is that Tiamat launched the uni-mind because this was always how Eternals survived planet destructions, but this time it led to the Celestial's demise. Sprite requests to be transformed into a human so she can grow up, and Circe grants her wish after retaining some energy from the uni-mind. In South Dakota 2 weeks later, Athena, Macquarie, and Droog board the domo, which Phastos had rebuilt, and head out into space to find other Eternals and inform them of the truth. Sprite bids Circe farewell as she returns to London and departs with Kingo for school. RSM suddenly comes beyond Earth's orbit as Circe and Whitman are out on another date. He kidnaps Circe, Phastos, and Kingo in order to review their memories in order to render a final verdict on the humans for thwarting Tiamat's appearance while temporarily sparing them. The Eternal